Hello everyone and welcome to the first Aircrack-NGUI tutorial. In this tutorial I'll be explaining what NGUI is, my direction for it, and how to obtain it. Let's take a look. First of all, what is Aircrack-NGUI? Aircrack-NGUI is a graphical interface for commonly used network security tools and provides a quick and easy way to save specific configurations and copy data from one form to another. Some of these tools that are included in NGUI includes the Aircrack-NG suite, so AeroDump, AirPlay, AirCrack, PacketForge, etc. Nmap for discovering hosts and open ports on them. In the DSNF suite, so DSNF, ARP spoof, mail snarf, URL snarf, DNS spoof, etc. Aircrack-NGUI is a desktop Java application and is currently only supported on the Linux operating system. However, plans for a Windows and Mac version are in the works. Second of all, my direction for it. My end goal is to have a product that network security enthusiasts and professionals can use with minimal terminal intervention. You should be able to use this program for network auditing without having to go outside of the program. I also do not have a number for extra programs to limit it to. If I can include as many tools as possible without cluttering up the interfaces, I'll add as many as I see fit. In addition to the 3 software suites I mentioned before, I also include graphical interfaces for more of the basic networking tools, such as ping, traceroute, and telnet. I also include graphical interfaces for Wireshark, Reaver, MacChanger, SQL Map, and much more. The thing that makes NGUI truly awesome is its ability to copy data from one form to another. Say for example you run the graphical interface for AeroDump-NG called Discover Networks. It will display the network results you get from AeroDump in a nice table for organization and resizing. If you right-click one of the networks at the top, a context menu will appear, giving you options for analyzing or attacking the selected network. You can click Reaver on that context menu, and it will open a new Reaver attacking window with the network and interface information already populated. So all you need to do from there is click Start, and you're WPS bombing the network. Simple. Now, while copying data is great for quickness, another bottleneck in terms of speed for NGUI is definitely the settings. NGUI includes most, if not all, options for each program. This can lead to many checkboxes and text boxes and drop-downs for you to select each time. That is, until I implemented a feature I call profiles. Profiles allow you to get the settings for an attack just right, give the group of settings a name, and save them to your hard disk. So if you have a specific way you like to ping a host, you can specify the settings once, save it to a profile, and whenever you want to ping, you select that profile and the settings will auto-populate on the form. So thirdly, where can you get Aircrack-NGUI from? Aircrack-NGUI is hosted on a public free repository on Bitbucket, free for you to use, browse the source code, and contribute to. I'll show you how to download just the program, the code, and how to contribute to the code in this tutorial. So let's get some groundwork first. As I stated before, Aircrack-NGUI only runs on the Linux operating system, so unfortunately, my Windows and Mac viewers won't get much out of this unless you run it in a virtual machine. If you need to set up a Linux virtual machine or install Linux, I definitely recommend Backtrack 5R3 to use as NGUI's backbone. It has all the programs my application uses installed by default, and the settings form in NGUI has a button that sets it up perfectly for Backtrack 5. There are plenty of tutorials on YouTube for this setup, so I won't bother with explaining that whole process. Once you have Backtrack 5 installed and configured, now it's time to download Aircrack-NGUI. First, what you need to do is open up Firefox, the default web browser for Backtrack. In the address bar, type google.com. I know, the traditional Google search. When the Google search page is brought up, type Aircrack-NGUI into the search box. Several results will come up. At the time of recording, the option you want is the third one down or the Bitbucket one. Click on that and you'll be brought to the Bitbucket page. Now the Bitbucket page is very involved, yet very simple. You have the overview page, which has the latest commits to the program, the creation date, last commit, and program size, which is 8 megabytes at the time of recording, which is very small. The source page allows you to browse the NGUI source code without even needing to download it. Commits shows you all the commits and changes I made to the program. The pull request page won't be used because I only plan on having one branch, so it's not going to do you much good. The issues page is basically my to-do list for the program. So if you want to see what I'm planning for it, the issues page is the best place to go. I'm not using the wiki, but if you want to populate it, feel free to. Finally, the downloads page contains zip file for a minimalistic version of NGUI, which means just the jar file and required scripts. Now, if you want NGUI just to run it, the process is very easy. Click on the Downloads tab on Bitbucket. The zip files are sorted in reverse chronological order, so the top one will be the latest stable version of Aircrack-NGUI. Save the zip file to your preferred folder and extract it either through a graphical interface, or you can use unzip and then the name of the file in the terminal. Go into the extracted folder. You should see aircrack-NGUI.jar in a folder called required scripts. Open a terminal at this location and type java space -jar space aircrack-NGUI.jar. This will launch the Aircrack-NGUI interface. In the future versions, I'll be releasing a script with a zip archive called aircrack-NGUI.sh, and you can open the folder with Nautilus and just double click on the script and get it running. Now, there are some downfalls with a minimalistic NGUI. First of all, you're not going to have the latest and greatest version. You're going to have the last version where I said, yeah, I don't mind people using this version. Features in the current codebase might not and probably will not be in the latest version. There is a way to find out if you're missing out on anything, though. If you go to the Commits tab and compare the 7-digit alphanumeric key with the ones in the Downloads folder, you can see what features are in the codebase that aren't in your version. If you absolutely need the latest feature, download the source code itself. Don't worry, you won't need to compile it. I always keep a latest and greatest aircrack-NGUI.jar in the source, so you can copy the jar file and required scripts out of that and use it. Now to download the actual source code. Go back to the overview page and look at the panel on the right side of the window. There should be a line that shows the size of the program and then a download link after that. Click on the download link. This should save a zip archive to your computer. Follow the same steps I mentioned before to get NGUI up and running. The last thing in this tutorial won't apply to most people watching this video. This is if you want to contribute to NGUI. First, what you need to do is install the Distributed Version Control System, or DVCS, called Git. You can do this by opening a terminal in Backtrack 5 and typing apt-get space install space git. If you need help, plenty of tutorials on Google and YouTube. After you have Git installed, create a directory to store Aircrack-NGUI. Next, register for a free account on Bitbucket. Open a terminal in the newly created directory and copy-paste the Git clone code available on the NGUI page. This will download the source code as is. Make your changes in Eclipse, use git add, git commit, and git push to add the data to the current repository. I recommend using a program called Git-Cola for adding, committing, and pushing. Greatly simplifies the process. I know my explanation on Git sucks, but you can follow online tutorials on how to properly use Git and all the features available in it. So to recap, I discussed what Aircrack-NGUI is, my vision for it, where to get it, different ways to get it, be it a stable release, current release, and contributing. I hope you use Aircrack-NGUI in your hacking or network security and auditing endeavors. This is PayCY Coder, signing off.